and welcome to the channel.
You've seen the title. Let's eat some delicious food and take these off.
And obviously we're going to make a competition of this.
Absolutely.
Okay, the first one is in front of you, and you can remove the blindfolds in 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
starting with a drink.
frothy.
It is frothy. It looks and smells like hot chocolate. It's hot chocolate. What is in that? Marshmallows.
Marshmallow or curd?
Melty marshmallows.
It's not marshmallows.
I think that's cheese.
That's cheese. That's curds.
So this is a simple game. We're going to ask them to have a taste, enjoy the experience, and then talk about it. Then I'll tell them what it is, and then they have to guess where in the world it's from. It's like a fresh cheese, like a...
Sorry, just weird.
What's weird about it? Is it texture? Is it a flavour?
It's more like I'm so used to. I don't like the skin on my hot chocolate.
All the great things about hot chocolate, which are just delicious, and then all the best things about a pizza.
and you can have it at the start of the day.
It tastes amazing.
Served a lot as breakfast in this particular country, but also can be enjoyed throughout the day. So it could also be sort of towards the end of the day, almost like just past afternoon tea as the sun comes down.
I like the chocolate. I like the cheese. Together, I'm confused.
I think they work. I like it.
As a cheese goes though, it's quite a salty cheese.
Yes, salted chocolate. That's why I think it works. If you get some of the like proper little, it's delicious. I really like it.
So it is chocolate Santaferno, or chocolate completo. I need you to try and tell me which country is it from. Scribble down your answers, and then we'll ask you to reveal them. And there is a point if you get it bang on. I'll give you a half point if you get, like, close. The answer is Colombia.
Oh! Is that because of chocolate? Yeah.
Yeah, this is quite a classic drink from the kind of Andean region. So it's quite cold, and to gather around a hot chocolate with the salty cheese, fresh cheese, queso. We've used a combination of like a goat's cheese and mozzarella to get that stringiness.
So
there's lots of recipes online that suggest mozzarella does that job, but it does need to be quite a salty cheese as well. This is such an important part of tradition that they even have a saying for it that has evolved, that chocolate sin queso es como amor sin beso, or something along those lines, which basically means chocolate without cheese is like love without a kiss.
Oh.
And it is now so iconic that actually, if you speak to Colombians, they think we're pretty crazy for not putting cheese in our chocolate. It's just such an iconic thing.
I thought it was a phrase of like, it goes together like chocolate and cheese.
Chalk and cheese. And that means the opposite. Okay, Mike gets a point. Let's move on to round 2. Number 2, lift your blindfolds.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, what is that?
So we have a meaty broth with a lot
More skin.
of fat on the top. Like Barry, we're not very good at identifying meat in these videos, but it's a meaty stew with.
Oh, hello. Some gelatinous, very gelatinous meat in it.
So those who eat it have quite sophisticated skills, and there are certain methods. You wouldn't even use cutlery. You would spoon the meat onto a plate and then use the bread to portion up. But if you'd like to use a bowl, that's fine.
Oh my goodness. What is that?
Oh, it's so.
Is that tripe?
That's like butter.
Scared of that one.
This tastes
Oh my
like
goodness.
salt beef, texture of butter. Don't even bother chewing
Oh my
it.
God.
It's like a skip.
Where's it going?
It just dissolves. This is breakfast. Tripe's delicious.
Oh, it's quite nice, isn't it?
That is so acidic and smells a bit sweet. Do we just?
That is powerful.
You kind of mix it in, really. It's kind of a little garnish to mix in.
I'm going to mix it in my mouth. That is whoa! That is 100% vinegar and garlic.
I mean, yes, it is about 50% garlic and 50% vinegar.
That is purely a texture, familiarity thing. And once you get your head around it, just focus on what it tastes like. It tastes fantastic. It is so meaty.
And if you'd like to help wash it down, a little bit of vodka. So you got a combination of tripe, you were right, tongue and calf's foot.
Oh, lovely.
Washed down with vodka. What country is it from?
Oh my
Need your
goodness.
answers, please. Reveal your answers in 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
Both answers are incorrect. The answer is Armenia.
Wow.
The dish you are eating is
That's a lot further south.
Kash or Kash. So traditionally this was a dish made of what was available, and it was definitely the cheaper cuts, and it was the cuts that basically weren't being utilised by higher realms of society. So it was therefore had to be treated soaked overnight or all day and then cooked overnight, many hours in the simplest of broth, a little bit of garlic and a little bit of onion. Otherwise the calf's foot, in this case we've got lamb's tongue, but it might also have been cow tripe, which is essentially the stomach. And it becomes really soft, full of flavour, and then the meat and the flesh is eaten with the soft bread, almost as a spoon, and then dried bread is crumbled into the broth, so it becomes almost porridge-like. Like we would put oats into a broth to dry out, like overnight oats. And the vodka was often done to toast at the end of the meal. First of all, toast the day, then toast the cook, and then toast to the rest of the guests. And it's because the cook has been up all night tending to that broth, checking the pot doesn't boil dry, and it needs sort of constant attention. So it literally causes people sleepless nights to get this breakfast on the table.
As flavours go, that's exceptional. And like, I would have that again and again and again.
We've started strongly.
I haven't finished my hoof, but I'll come back to it later.
Okay, number 3. Where in the world are we off to? Take off your blindfolds.
Okay.
Excellent.
Brilliant.
Excellent.
Why excellent? Why is that more excellent than the last two?
Because
It's kind of familiar.
in our stupid little minds,
Soup dumplings?
yeah. Oh no, I popped it. That's not going to work.
Oh wow. Okay. There's just one big
I'll explain it.
lammy ball in it. Is it lammy?
I don't know, Barry. It fell out my sack. I think that's beef.
Spices are onion, garlic, salt, pepper, and a little bit of caraway. What do you think about the skin?
It's almost suety.
Yeah, that's such a good description.
See if you can write down a country. Reveal in 3, 2, 1.
Nepal. That's the first thing that came to mind.
I was going like, it feels like something that you'd have up a mountain.
Yeah,
like
that's what I
really,
mean.
really fatty, fills you up. Also, mountain goat. You know?
Yeah, I would.
You are both thinking the same kind of logic, and I think what you have in your mind is momos, which is a Tibetan thing that's also very popular in Nepal. It's not what these are, but they're very similar. Momo would be very much spiced as well. These are buz. B-W-Z from Mongolia.
Mongolia.
Not a million miles away, and the landscape and the region and the kind of approach and logic you had, I think, is spot on. Very fatty, very heavy.
Take that.
The pastry, or the dumpling skin and the wrapper, is much thicker. And you do want the heavy, fatty mutton. And unlike a soup dumpling, which is a little ball with a lot of soup, this is a lot of ball with a bit of juice that comes out of it.
The influence of the dumplings, like the soup dumplings we had, they remind me of, but the soup dumplings are so delicate, and the even the dough itself as well is stringy. And
These are like hearty, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like they are a breakfast. If you can get your head round eating a mutton soup dumpling.
It's like a soup
breakfast.
dumpling meets a Cornish pasty.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of
like
that.
this will set
fatty.
you up for
Yeah.
a day in the mountains for sure.
Yeah, and I think it is that cross between dim sum, which is very elegant as a nice brunch somewhere like Hong Kong, soup dumplings exactly, or even if you go further north into sort of Russia and Poland, you have like pierogi, which is a very heavy, very dense kind of dumpling. It is a hot water dumpling, so you add the hot water into the flour to cook it out, and then you shape it and steam it. What do we think?
I think they're great.
Oh yeah, delicious. I'd like a slightly more refined version. You could only eat one.
Would you, Barry Taylor, say in East London, you'd like a
that.
more refined version?
Look at that.
This is supposed to set you up for a day in the mountains.
I live in Hampshire.
Exactly, so you
I'm
don't get to
okay.
say what you'd prefer.
What I like, actually, with these is they're easier for normals to get their head around because you don't need the dexterity of the finesse and the fine pleating and folding so much. Every kind of different family, nomadic family, has their own way of sealing them in, so that there are lots of different ways of doing it. They are much heartier, and because of that, they're actually easier to work with than the very fine wrappers that you would find associated with soup dumplings.
So the juice that came out of it, is that just the natural fats from the ball?
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
not... Okay.
And is it cooked slowly in order to...
Steamed, so it's cooked gently, and
Okay.
obviously it is a bigger ball, so they take a bit longer than a small soup dumpling, but it's just steamed, so it is a very gentle cooking method. Mike, you've only got 1 point. Barry, yet to score. Last round.
We haven't done very well, have we?
Last one.
Come on.
Number 4, off you go. What is it? Where does it come from?
Ooh, it's a spicy banana.
It does look like a spicy banana. Oh, wow.
That's well nice.
That's
Right,
there's more tripe.
There's more tripe in this
You've
one.
just been chucking tripe in stuff because you've got some left over.
Once you've gone to the effort of preparing tripe, you might as well use it across a few things, but a little bit of tripe in there.
Right, it's got the
beef.
fruitiness of the banana, a zing, a little bit of spice in there, and then a fattiness.
The banana, and there's another fruity thing in here. There's another fruity element that makes it taste incredible.
The world's most consumed fruit.
Has a creaminess to it as well, and it's that oily heat that gets everywhere.
Yeah, you can tell. You can imagine what that tastes like. And it's got a really lovely sort of warmth that goes throughout that.
This is wonderful. What's it called?
I believe it's pronounced Kotogo, but I am also going to say the bananas you have cooked in there are very unripe green bananas because we couldn't get hold of what it should have been.
Plantain.
No.
I tell you what though, like a banana in a meaty stew
Yeah.
works, and I'd never had considered that.
In here you've got some oxtail, a stew made with beef bones, and then you're right, you pretty much got all the rest, which is tomato and carrot and onion and some spice in the form of chilli and garlic and the usual suspects.
It's amazing.
Scribble down your answers, and then we'll ask you to reveal them. Flip your boards around in 3, 2, 1.
We need to diversify our friendship.
No!
So Kotoga is from Africa. You're on the right continent, but there were over 50 countries to choose from. You were on the wrong side. East Africa is Uganda.
Oh wow.
Wow, okay.
I mean, it's absolutely delicious, isn't it?
It's not, yeah, I was thinking, I've been to Kenya and they had like some meals there with banana in it, but nothing like that. That's my favourite today. I could see myself doing something similar at home.
It is a challenge to cook offal because it's not as simple as a pork medallion or a chicken breast or a steak or a lamb leg steak, which we just know that we can grill or quick fry. It does need a bit more preparation, generally a longer cooking time. This dish could be with any number of offal, from heart and lung, from trotters, right the way through to sweetbreads and tripe. Particularly sweetbreads and tripe are served to kids and the elderly because once they are cooked, they're really easy to digest and hugely nutritious.
And it gets to chew as well.
In this instance, we have put very underripe green bananas in. It should be matuke, which is a green banana from Uganda, which is not the same as plantain. It is of the banana family, but it is a very specific, often slightly shorter and squatter and firmer, cooked when they're nice and firm so they don't break down into the stew.
Does it have a similar flavour profile?
As a very green banana, and they arrived so green this morning, we cut into them and they almost have
With a bread knife.
like a chalky, almost powdery, almost citrusy note to them because they haven't yet sweetened. So they've still got the acidity of picking it young.
They taste really sweet.
Yeah, well, we've cooked them, so they sweeten up.
Wow.
So is there a risk that if you used a standard ripened banana with something like this, it would be too sweet then?
Too sweet and would probably dissolve too much. But then at the same time,
Good tip.
really difficult to get hold of
Very good
matuke in this country. So not a particularly high scoring video. 1 point to Mike, who takes the win, but what do we think? 4 very different countries and 4 very different dishes.
I absolutely loved it. And I love stuff like this, trying new things and, celebrating other parts of the world. It was awesome.
I love it because if I did get to travel, and I saw that on the menu, any of these on the menu, I wouldn't order it because I'd be too scared of it. Whereas now, I would have that every morning. Stuff that's delicious.
Which means it's over to you guys. Comment down below and let us know, did any of those wow you today?
And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like so we know to make more.
Also, let us know of any dishes that you've had that we need to try. I'm not sure you can beat that.
Game on. Oh, Ebbers has taken the tip off your banana.
Where in the world are we off to? Take off your blindfolds.
Where in the world are we off to?
Okay.
It's like a Microsoft 95 screensaver.